I hear somebody in the background.
It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning, everyone. It's Tech for Senior Live. It is the 21st of April today. It's an overcast, drizzly day in Comox, British Columbia. I'm going to introduce everyone in just a minute. Tech for Senior Live is broadcast with StreamYard, and it is going out to our Facebook feed and our YouTube channel. If you are trying to find us over on Zoom, we'll see you on Monday. There's nobody there, so come on over and have a look. If you can't find us, go to www.techforsenior.com, and there's a big button there. It says connect to channel, and just click that and you'll be connected. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday. The other thing is, we have no idea if it's just the four of us talking today. It's okay. I mean, we all are great friends, and we like to sit down and talk tech in the morning, and we've been talking for half an hour in the pre-show already, and we're happy to sit and talk, but we like to know that there are people out there that are listening to us. So if you want to put your first name in the chat and tell us where you're from or what the weather's out, or if you have any questions, we are all ears today. So we'll be happy to answer your questions. Today, Huey is listening to us. Huey is away today. We have Bill James as our special guest, which we'll talk. I'll introduce everybody in just a minute. But we did have Huey. Huey is at a restaurant. He actually had his Chromebook and his new S22 phone, and we had 5 people connected with radio noise. We had restaurant noise, and we had background everything. And we decided, nah, let Huey have a nice lunch, and he'll tell us what happened, and we'll catch him on Monday, because it was just too much to have everybody there. The whole gang here is from Tech for Senior on our Monday show. We have a Monday show that we do, and this is our 3rd year of the Monday show. we've got over 108 episodes. So and that's our big show of the week. We do that on Monday, and that's a Zoom show. And if you want to come and you want to have a look at the show, just go to www.techforsenior.com and you'll find all the information, and you can log in and participate in our Zoom. Our meeting on Mondays, or we also broadcast that to YouTube. So if you want to participate in that, and if you still don't get enough of us, I know a lot of you really want more. So we actually have a
Podcast.
Thanks, Bob. A podcast that we run and as well, so you can also listen to today's show as a podcast. So that's who we are. We're going to have today. I'm going to introduce our guests today, and we're going to have a little chat about that. And then we're going to have a few videos, and then we're going to go over the technology news of the week, which we're going to discuss. And again, you can follow that along on our Facebook page, as I mentioned earlier. So if you want to go over and follow along, we'll put the pages up on the screen. But if you want to follow along on our Facebook page, you too can watch and look at the articles. Or if you want to go back and look at the articles, maybe you didn't quite understand or you want to learn a little bit more, you can go back and look at the articles on our Facebook page. All right. So now I'm going to introduce everybody. Before I do, though, I just want to I always have introduce people in sequences, right? I did east to west, highest to lowest, lowest to highest, biggest population, littlest population. Today, I think I'm going to do it as we're going to introduce our special guest, and then we're going to go from the farthest away from our special guest. So our special guest today is, of course, Bill James, and he is from Oklahoma. Now, Bill, of course, not only is he a great guy, he also works with us on the Monday Tech for Seniors show. He works a lot with APCUG. He teaches. We've labeled him as the as the gadget guy, but Bill's a lot smarter than just gadgets. He does Windows, a lot of Windows stuff, and teaches Windows 10 and 11, and he does a lot of tips and tricks for us on our show. So Bill, we do appreciate you being here, and thank you for coming and talking to us today. So that
my pleasure.
That's Bill James, right? Now, I guess moving from Bill would be the next closest would be Bob, right? You're the closest to Oklahoma from our group. And Bob, of course, everyone thinks he's from Los Lunas, but in fact, he's from Meadow Lake, right? And Meadow Lake is, of course, in New Mexico. But of course, when I was a little kid, I went to Meadow Lake and swam there because my parents had a resort up there, a cabin up there. And so Meadow Lake is in Saskatchewan. So there is a Meadow Lake, Bob, in Saskatchewan, in northern Saskatchewan, in Canada, right?
The one in Canada has water.
Yeah.
Meadow Lake here doesn't have any water.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a big lake. It's a big lake.
It used to be a man-made lake, but when the water rights vanished, so did the water, and now it's just a park.
Just a park. All right. All right. And then, of course, moving further afield, we will get to Ray in Pine, Arizona. Ray, of course, is our music director on our Monday show. And he is a great guy. Also, he is the president of APCUG. So he's a very, very well thought of person. And his expertise is on, I guess, music. Would say storing music, digital history of music, music buzz. How will we call you? What will we call you?
I do presentations on what I call the birth of rock and roll. So
Okay.
I start at the very beginning and all the influences that came from other genres and go up to about 1959. Because by 1960, things started to change in a lot of part of the genre. So I just do the birth of rock and roll. I did quite a few fundraisers for that over the years.
Great. Okay. Super.
And I want to mention that I only live one block from Meadow Drive.
Oh, really?
Not like Meadow Lake, but there's a road here called Meadow Drive, and I'm a block away from it.
There you go. There you go. Now, of course, there's myself, and many of you may think that we're all sitting in a studio together. We're sitting around having coffee, but we're not. We're in different countries, different parts of the world. And I'm on an island, a little island off the west coast of of Canada, British Columbia, and you have to take an hour and a half ferry to get over here. Lots of people tried that this long weekend and were disappointed, and they were even more disappointed when they tried to get off the island with all the big windstorms, because the ferry service got canceled for that day. So there was not a lot of happy people. But anyway, if you miss the island, you'll be in Hawaii, and if you miss Hawaii, you'll be in Japan. So anyway, that's where I am. So we're all over the place, different time zones, but we all get together and have some fun on Thursday morning. Let me just have a look. Huey usually does all the comments. I'm going to bring the comments up, and let's see who we've got listening here. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Mike Ungerman says, waiting. New AT&T fiber interconnection just installed today. $20 cheaper than Spectrum. 100 megabits faster. That's good. I'm going to show you an article today, Mike, where they're installing one of the cable companies in Canada, in Ontario, Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, is now offering 8 gigabyte up and download, 8 gigabyte up on fiber. So Huey, if you're listening, he's got 1 gig. He's always boasting about his 1 gigabyte up and down in Florida. This is a pretty rural area, and they're doing 8 gigabytes up and down symmetrically.
I'm close. I have 6 megabytes.
Yeah, right. It's 8 gigabytes. Well, you got to be kidding. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Maureen Glenn from Victoria. Yes, it's probably rainy and drizzly down there. Steve Powell from Kirkland, Washington. 46 degrees. Dick Vogel. Good afternoon from Florida. Yes. Bernard DeFazio, Detroit, MI Sterling,
Michigan.
Computer Club. Michigan, yeah. I don't know. Is Bernard new? Has he been on before? Welcome, Bernard. I'm sorry if I don't remember your name, but if you are, this is your first time listening to us. Welcome. We do appreciate. We tend to have the same group coming all the time, but big welcome for you. And Sally Ann Maury, Kirkland, Washington. Joan Grieg from, of course, Victoria. Stu Bottorff from Florida. Gerald Smith from cloudy West Seattle. Yeah, that's about what it is here. Bit drizzly. Charles Harchin from Lake of the Ozarks, camping in Fayetteville. Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas.
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Oh, so he's So you must be listening. I wonder if he's listening on his phone or plugged into the laptop? Maybe, I don't know. Interesting.
Terrific.
Clark Walker from cloudy Trenton, New Jersey. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington. Brad, Toronto. Wet and rainy. Mike Ungerman. The new AT&T modem has an 8 gigabyte socket, but you have no way to use it. Well, it's coming. There you go. George, of course, Bowden is from Victoria. Lots of people from Victoria. Bernard, yes, he's new. Okay, welcome. Hold on here. Do I have, just a minute here. I think I have in my repertoire, there you go.
Drum roll.
That's all I got in my repertoire there. But there you go. That's the best we can do. Or else I can get Bob to sing you a song. But that's
no. Leave it with the drum roll.
All right, drum rolls, okay. Yeah. Samuel Hill from Phoenix.
Yeah, Sam is a good friend of mine. I see him every Thursday night on Zoom with our organization called Record Collectors of Arizona.
Oh, so really?
That knows more about the music. It's Sam than I do.
Is Sam new then? Does he come?
He's been listening for the last several weeks. I think this is the first time he signed in.
Oh, okay. And Charles is on an iPad. And Brian says, no thanks.
I assume that was toward my singing.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So, okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. So this is we wanted to so that's great. We're glad that we got a pretty big audience. That's great. So now I wanted to just let Bill's got some gadgets he was going to talk to us about before I have a few little videos I want to show you as we do in the first part here. But Bill, can you talk about you had a couple of things you want to talk about today?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ron. And I have this opportunity to write that little column I do in the Tuesday newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want people to think that I don't actually practice what I preach. And I've actually bought some of the items that I've talked about. And one of the ones that we were really interested in was making a great cup of coffee. And I talked about different coffee makers. And I think we talked about having grinders and all kinds of stuff. Well, it's almost been over a year. I actually finally received a coffee pot that I purchased that was really from one of these startup companies, and it has a built-in grinder in the top, and it actually makes a great cup of coffee. It's called a Spin, and it's internet connected. I can control it from my phone, and it just does some pretty spectacular things. So Ron wanted me to share that with you, and so I just want to show you what we're talking about. I'm going to share my screen and just give you a little preview of this. Can you see my screen?
No.
No, it has to come up. Did you hit the share button? Just hit the share at the bottom. If you hit the share button at the bottom, it should load, and then I'll just bring you into the studio.
Well, what did I do here?
Should just be at the bottom of your screen there,
Where all the controls are.
where all the controls are. Just hit the share button.
Okay. It's not doing anything.
If you hit the wrong one, it says Leap Studio. That's not the one you want.
There you go. All right, now here it is. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
All right.
Now you gotta get rid of the ones you don't want to share.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Maybe we should leave this for another time.
Yeah, let's just Bill. Do
After
you
we
want to
do some
just
practice? Yeah.
let's just can you just talk a little bit about it and tell us what it
Yeah,
is?
I can just talk about it. But anyway, the coffee pot is a kind of a cylinder device that stands probably about a foot and a half, and it has a grinder in the top. You put the beans in it,
Right.
and then you can select the coffee bean from a list, and it's pre-programmed to grind the coffee to the roaster specifications.
What's the name of it, Bill? Sorry, what's the name of it?
Oh, a Spin, Spinn.
Okay.
And if I could,
So if we, I'm going to share my screen.
if you can, I can talk about it. If you can share it. And just X out of that. But there it is right here. So the top portion, this lid comes off, and that's just where you put your beans in. And then this area right here is adjustable to the size cup that you want, or you can take all that out and just make it so you can put a carafe, which I guess gives you about 4 cups of coffee. But it has this market, which is probably the most fascinating part of it. If you go up there and say where it says market, and here you can buy the a great selection of beans. And of course, these are all small batches. And so you can select, the type of coffee and experiment with others. And it just really gives a really nice cup of coffee. Um, if you're not a coffee lover, then you may not want to, indulge in the expense of it, or you just like coffee for coffee. But I kind of like to try the different blends, and so it's become my new hobby.
Your new hobby. Well, I have something to show you. I'm going to just stop sharing now. I knew you were going to talk about this today, so I want to show you guys something and see if you've ever heard of this. Has anyone ever heard of Cometeer?
No.
Nope.
All right. I thought I'd get up on you guys. So this is about coffee, okay? Bill, so I want you to watch this. I want everyone to watch this and tell me what you think.
What you need to know about Cometeer coffee. This is our proprietary extraction process. This is how we preserve flavor at minus 321 degrees Fahrenheit. This is your Cometeer order, shipped on dry ice. These are some of the best roasters on the planet. This is how you peel back the lid of a Cometeer capsule. And this is how you melt the perfect coffee beverage of your choice every time. Hot, cold, oat milk, goat milk, whatever. You can also use a machine. This is how delicious it tastes. This is how you travel with Cometeer. This is the 100% recyclable capsule. A new day has arrived on Earth for coffee.
All right.
Is that a gag or
No, it's not. No, it's not a gag. I went and looked at the website last night, and it's still in operation, and you can buy those. And they come in a box of dry ice, and you get 60. You have to buy them 60 at a time, and it's about $2. No, you buy 30 at a time. They're $2. They're $2 a cup, and it's and you get 60. It's $60 for a box. You have to buy a box because they have to ship it in dry ice, and shipping and handling is included in the United States. So that's true. And I thought, well, okay, this is another way of looking at coffee.
So once you get them, do you have to store them in the freezer?
Yeah, they have to remain frozen.
Mm.
So interesting, eh?
I'd make a comment, but I don't want to insult coffee lovers.
Oh, go ahead, Bob. I think they're all.
I'll spend
Well,
I'll spend my $8 for my jug, right? And then I'll use my machine, and that $8 will probably make me enough coffee for at least 3 months. And I drink lots of coffee.
Right. Now, just for those of you who are listening and who are interested in coffee, you may or may not have heard of a man by the name of James Hoffman, Hoffman. James Hoffman is an interesting man who is a world tester of coffees. He's from Britain, and he has a big YouTube channel, and he does weekly tips on coffee, from everything from grinding to making, and his name's James Hoffman. He also owns a coffee companies in Britain and makes all sorts of equipment and so on and so forth. But he is a master taster and tester. So if you're interested in coffee and want to learn more about what Bill's saying or I'm saying or whatever, James Hoffman is the guy you want to Google in YouTube, and he will be the guru of coffees.
I mentioned that I was going to be talking about coffee this morning on with my computer club, and they started about 30 minutes before this show. And I was surprised to find that we had a club member that was actually roasting his own coffee beans.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And so we got into quite a discussion about coffee. Mm-hmm. We had another person that talked about that he enjoys cold press, which you actually use cold water and you drink it cold. And there was a whole lots of interesting tales about coffee making and how people enjoy it. So it's wider. There's a wider range of coffee drinkers than I thought there were.
Yeah.
Bill, I'm not trying to make fun. It's just we all have our own little niche that we're very, very passionate about. Coffee for me, it's something. It took me a long time to learn to actually be able to see, gee, I can enjoy a cup of coffee. Because the first cup of coffee I had, the poor person who served it is probably still wearing it.
Oh,
Coffee, like
yeah.
beer, acquired taste. And until you
Yeah.
acquire it, it really isn't that pleasant.
Oh, I guess I was an early adapter because I remember I think I liked coffee when I was 5 years old
Right.
because my father was quite a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
And
I-
he
Black
introduced me
coffee or coffee with cream and sugar and
Oh, no, Dad never drank.
okay.
It was always black.
Bill, I want to go on and I want to just show you one more a little video I have here. This is and I want your opinion. This is a new product that has just come out. It's available widely, and I want your guys' opinion, and I want you to have a look at this and tell me what you think. Okay, watch this and tell me what you think.
Find a place for myself, and when I take a face from the shelf, and when it finally fits just like a dream, when I do you what you do to me. But the light is rising bright, no need to tell my dreams apart. Oh, cloudy visions all around, by many versions. Twist and shout. Ink on the peeler, cracks in the clues. One thing that is crystal clear, crystal clear. My blood's all diamonds when I'm with you. Blood's all diamonds when I'm with you.
Oh,
Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday.
Yeah.
The
ano-
se- the $70 is what turned me off.
another one of those
My wife
commercials.
just recently bought a new keyboard and mouse, and that's the mouse that came with the Logitech
Ah.
keyboard.
Oh, really? Oh,
So I
really?
sat down at her desk when the first day she had it. I couldn't figure out how to use the mouse. The buttons were not where you would expect them to be.
Hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
that's-
obviously you get used to it, but the first time
It's-
it's going to be very different.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be ergonomic, so
Yeah. I had never seen that before yesterday, and I thought this is really sort of interesting, right?
And see, that's one of those commercials that doesn't really focus on the product. It has all that other
Yep.
stuff, and I didn't catch on what it really was. It was just like, you remember the when the Infinity cars came out, the very early commercials.
Yeah.
They talked about everything about the car, and no one knew that they were actually talking about a car. And that's what that commercial kind of reminds me of.
Yep.
I have not seen that. That'll be. I use a mouse a lot. I like to see how that works.
yeah, but this one's $70.
Oh
Well,
wow!
But it is something that we sit in front of a computer all day long. Bob, you've got me to buy, well, you and your keyboards. You got me to buy a whole bunch of keyboards. You keep telling me you got this great keyboard. I got to go and buy one, and so I got all these keyboards sitting here. You're the keyboard guy. I think we should. You spend, a mouse is just the same, eh?
Yeah.
But I spent less for the keyboard than this mouse.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing quickly before we get into the music. I wanted to so here's another question that I have for you, another little video. Now, we all know that bigger is better, right? As far as screens go, as we get older, we have trouble seeing, right? I mean, everyone agrees with that. So obviously, a 34-inch monitor is better than a 27-inch monitor, right? As we get older, the bigger the better. The bigger the monitor, the better we can see, right? And I think we would all agree with that. Now, I have always argued, here's what I argued, is that instead of buying a 27-inch laptop, so instead of buying like a 19-inch screen or a 24-inch screen on a laptop, which of course they don't usually make them that big, buy a small screen don't pay for that, and then just plug a monitor in, right? So you can get you can certainly get a bigger screen by just put a 34-inch monitor and plug it into a small laptop, and you don't have to lug the great big screen around. Okay, now what if you had a foldable screen for your laptop? What if you had a 12-inch screen that would fold out to a 20-inch screen? Now, let me show you this. And this is the new idea. This is coming up. Instead of your laptop to suit purpose, from tablet to laptop to monitor to Sidekick, the new this folding, you'll see this new folding screen in a laptop may be the new thing. And I want you to have a look at this. Now watch this and tell me what you think. Let's see, where are we? Now, that is made by Asus, but the article, and we're going to see the article today that came out, is HP is going to be bringing out its, which will be the third manufacturer to do so. There's Asus and Lenovo, and this will be a folding PC monitor, and it will fold out to 17 inches. So it's going to fold from, I think, 12 inches to 17 inches, and it's going to fold out. So you'll have a smaller laptop when you're doing that, or the screen will fold out to 17 inches. So what do you guys think of that?
Well, you know, I'm the exact opposite because I prefer a smaller screen.
Oh, really?
I don't know why, because I can see them better. The big ones, they're just, I mean, you have to sit so far back from them, and it just overwhelms my eyes.
You must have great eyes.
Well, I don't know if I have great eyes, but I mean, I really get a lot. I mean, I don't have a problem with using my phone for a lot of things. The bigger screens just are in my opinion, just overwhelming for me.
It all depends. I agree with Bill in that. I took my old 3D television that was 46 inches, and I didn't have an extra monitor at the time, so I hooked that up, and it was too big. If I tried to get back far enough so it made visual sense, I was nowhere near the keyboard. So there is a happy medium, and I guess each individual is different. But I've seen something like that, what you showed, Ron, where there's another, it attaches to the back of the laptop. It plugs into a USB, attaches, and gives you the larger screen that way as well.
Yeah. But this is actually, as you know, with phones now, the flip phones, you've got foldable screens. So the technology to make foldable screens is there. It's there. So obviously the next step would be to put a foldable screen on a laptop and make it bigger.
I have a 17-inch laptop. I'd like to see it open to 34 inches.
Oh my word!
Coming, Bob, coming. Just give it some time.
And
like the Surface Duo, that's a foldable phone where the screen is on both sides.
Yeah, and I'm like Ray. I did attach a computer to a 55-inch TV and tried using it, and it was just unmanageable.
Yeah.
Your mouse has to travel so far that by the time you get there, what you were interested in is probably no longer of interest.
And you know, I was telling someone else is that even like watching Netflix, I don't have a problem watching a Netflix movie on my little phone. I mean, I find that it's just really immersive. You just kind of get into it. So, I don't know.
Before we get into the news articles, I just want to just bring up comments now. We'll just check and see. Let's see. I don't know. JJ Johnson, 57 degrees, and Waukegan, no snow. Mike says 26 years in the Navy, always had a cup of coffee in my hand when on watch.
Of course.
But was it very good coffee? That's the question.
Yes.
Was it? All right. JJ says 20 years in the Navy, and all my fingers are straight from not holding a cup of coffee for 20 years.
He shared that he's not a coffee drinker. He shared earlier that he was banned from making coffee because he put too much coffee in whatever he was trying to make. And
that sounds like Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there, there you go. All right.
In Europe, they make very, very strong coffee. When my wife was over there with my mom many years ago, they got that much coffee and then water and then milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Italy, when I was in Italy, it's Demitas, and it's
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
strong.
but you
I
can
like.
put your spoon in the middle and it stands up. That's pretty strong coffee.
Yeah.
All right, we have to get going here. We got to get busy doing some articles here. People are gonna want to say, "Hey, we guys, what's going on?" So
Talk too much.
we got to get to work. We got to do some work. Huey's probably listening and having his lunch now, and he's wondering what the heck are those guys doing. So we got to crack the whip and get going here. Okay, so what we're going to do for those of you listening, we go through the new. We've all posted news articles to our website this week. Sorry, to our Facebook page, and which of course is a website, and so we're going to go through them now, and each person who's posted the article gets to talk a bit about it, and if you want to follow along on our Facebook page, go ahead because the articles are there for you as well. Bob, did you? I always sort of. We always try who's the last guy to post gets the first article, and Bob always wins. So he must be posted 10 minutes ago or something when the show was on. Have you been post?
Well, I try to post it, some of it early and some of it late.
All right, Bob, go ahead. This is your article.
Which one are you showing?
New web store badges.
No, you're missing one.
Am I? No, there's not. No, I'm getting right at the top. Maybe
Right
it's
at the-
coming up, but the first
Right,
one is
right,
new
right at
web
the top
store.
starts. Right at the top starts with tech support scams targeting seniors on the rise. Maybe you need to refresh your page.
Oh, you even posted one before that. You rascal, you. Let's see here.
Basically, this lets you know that.
Here we go. There
Yeah.
you go. All right. There you go.
Best thing to do on this, it's a video. Watch it.
Okay.
Gives you some tips. And unfortunately, seniors are a big target for scammers because seniors are set in their ways. Hopefully, when the scammer gets to you, you're not at your best as far as your mind goes, and you're easily persuaded. Seniors also make a habit of being trusting people. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, we need to learn not to be so trusting.
Thanks, Bob. And that we'll probably play that maybe on your on the Monday show. You know. How to Bob? This is your article again. How to add wireless charging to any phone.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're mechanically inclined, this is something for you. If not, take it to somebody else to do it for you, or just continue charging it the way you've been doing it. But this shows you how you can add wireless charging to almost any phone.
Pretty cool. So people need to understand, I guess, is that there's hardware inside a phone that connects to the hardware on a charging stand that allows you to wireless charge, right?
So there are modifications that you'll have to make.
Right. All right. Interesting.
Google has now come out for the next one. Google has now come out with badges that make judging whether or not an app is safe or not safe a lot easier.
Oh, are these going to be on all the apps in the
Yeah,
store?
this is slowly being rolled out, but you should now start seeing badges for trusted and established vendors.
Oh, that'll be cool, eh?
Yep.
And does Google put them on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'll make it a lot easier. So you're not you really sort of have some idea what you're downloading as far as safety goes, eh?
Correct.
Ah, interesting. What are they on there now, Bob? I haven't seen these. Are they? Is this
It's
coming?
just being rolled out now.
Okay. All right. Ray, what are we talking? Record Store Day on Sunday.
Saturday. This
Saturday.
coming Saturday is April 23 is what is Record Store Day? Well, this started about 7 or 8 years ago, and every April they celebrate brick and mortar record stores. Now, I think all of us remember the good old days when we'd go into a real record store and rifle through the albums, or in me, the 45s, and find what we were looking for. So this is to encourage you to go back. And this year, the ambassador is none other than superstar Taylor Swift. And to quote her, she says, "Watching vinyl sales grow in the past few years has been a true joy for me." So I want to encourage people, take a look in your area, just type in Record Store Day, and you'll see a listing and see if there's a record store nearby. Maybe that's something you want to do on Saturday.
Well, that's very, very, very.
We have one of those here. A real record store.
Yeah. So these are the brick and mortar that participate in this, and they have they usually have big sales, and I don't buy a lot of vinyl today, but I still have at least 500 LPs in my collection and about 2,500 45s. So I do like vinyl.
I'm still waiting for someone to come through my town here. I have 2 great big boxes of LPs for you. So if you're heading down to Phoenix, if you could drop them off in Pine, Arizona, I said to Ray I would send all my old LPs down there. So thanks, Ray. All right, good. Now we have 4K video downloader review.
Ron, this is what YouTube led me to a couple of years ago, and this is a review of something called 4K video downloader. And
I use this every day.
Yeah, the name is really misleading. It has nothing to, and it can do 4K, but it's really for any type of video. And there's a lot of scams for those kind of MP3 or videos to MP4. They're loaded with bloatware. This one is free of it. It's really easy to use, very good quality. So this was a nice review on it. And I thought since Ron had recommended it to me a couple of years ago, I would make sure that this review was shown for our listeners to kind of take a look at.
For those of you that use the secure browser, you actually already have one. It's part of the browser itself. There is a downloader for videos from YouTube built into that browser.
Thanks, Bob. I've been using just to let everyone know. I think I bought it many years ago, which was like $10 or something, and I've been using it for years. And the thing I like about it is it's fast. It's really, really fast and downloads it. And one of the problems I have, and this is embarrassing, I've got so many videos on YouTube now. I have a hard time. I of course have them on my own hard drive that's all filed away, but it's easier for me to do a YouTube search, find them on my own videos, download them. If I have to do a presentation, to a club or something, I'll just download them off YouTube and then use them. Because it's just not worth it for me to go and try and find it on my hard drive and so on and so forth.
We have the same problem, and I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you a secret, Ron. I'll tell you a secret, Ron. Videos on YouTube don't stay there forever. So if you really find something you like, and in my case, I download it, so I will have it forever.
You can do that too, yeah. But and I do have these. I have, of course, all mine that I put up there. They're all backed up, but it's just so much easier. They're such a good. It's so good to just search them and find them. All right, just for Ron, Best Buy will now haul away your old TV for $199.
You're the one that told me last week, I guess, when we were talking about your old projection TV in your theater room, and it's been there. You don't really use it, and you're saying, "How am I going to get rid of it?" Well, this is the answer. That for $199, they will come over and take it out. Now, I know this is in the U.S. It's brand new. I'm not sure if it's in Canada yet, but if it's in the U.S. now, it can't be far behind. And what they do is they recycle it. So you don't have to worry about it going to a big trash place. It's going to actually be recycled, and they'll take I have a drawer full of old cell phones, and when they do the small stuff, I take advantage of that and pass them on. So wanted you to be aware of this, Ron.
Thank you. I was probably one of the last people in the world to buy a 60-inch rear view projection screen, right? And it's sat in my theater room for all these years, and of course, I don't use it anymore. I haven't used it for a number of years now, but I don't want to take it out for two reasons. Number one, I need some people to come over and help me. But number two, then there's a hole there, and I have to fill it. So, anyway, well, thank you, Ray. I know you're always thinking of me. That's great. And this was big news. This is on the national news in Canada now.
Yep.
Today about do you know Netflix stock? I think dropped 35% yesterday.
Yes. Yep.
Holy crap! That was like billions of dollars were lost.
Yep.
What's with that?
Yep. No, they lost 200,000 subscribers. Now they're saying in the article, as the headline kind of indicates, that the contributing factor is password sharing. That's when you live, you have it, when you give your sign on to friends, relatives, etc., who are not in the same household. So they say they're going to take some steps to ensure that you're only people from the same household. I guess they're going to look at your IP address. But I go back with Netflix to the days when they would mail a DVD to the house, $8 a month. About 12 years ago, $8 a month. They'd mail a DVD. I'd watch it. I'd send it back, etc. But their prices have gone up considerably over the years. But I think the biggest problem is competition. When you think about it, it's Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney, HBO Max, probably 100 more are all offering streaming. Sometimes the price is less than what Netflix charges. I think the competition has caused them to lose that many subscribers.
But Netflix in the beginning encouraged sharing of passwords.
They did,
even
yeah.
if it was not within the same household. And now they're doing a complete turnaround on that.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped using Netflix when they stopped with the sending out the DVDs.
Mike says, when I purchased my new Sony, it was $29.99, not $190. Like, that's a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Mike says to haul away the TV,
Yep.
and maybe because it was paired with the Geek Squad to install. Well, who knows? Who knows?
Well, the other thing about Netflix is that they've kind of got out of their lane, because they're now actually becoming a movie producer. They
Right,
actually have
right.
their own.
Yes.
They're funding their own movies and doing a lot of things that they didn't do before, because I was one of the ones that used to get a DVD and then, of course, Blu-ray discs later.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went to streaming, I started doing that and did away with that particular subscription. But I would think the price would have gone down, with streaming rather than going up. But that's just might be my be naive about that. But it seems like to me it would be less expensive to stream than having all the personnel to send out DVDs and have that product on hand, which
Right.
They actually still do that. There's a spinoff from Netflix called DVD.com. And that spinoff now will continue to do mailing you the one or multiple discs, depending what subscription price you pay. And as soon as you send it back, you can get more. So there are still a fair number of people who are using that old kind of service.
So is that a Netflix subsidiary, or
it's a spinoff? I think I don't know who owns it, but when Netflix has gotten out of it directly, and this company or this entity at DVD.com.
JJ is saying that Netflix still sends out DVDs.
JJ says Netflix still sends out. I don't know that. Is that
For an extra charge?
Yeah. And Dick Vogel says I still get DVDs for movies that are not available with streaming. The other thing is, so this is I put this up there. Bob and I own Pixel phones, and I just put this up there for people that maybe have Pixel phones. This was an article, this came out this morning, new update to Google Camera rolling out for Pixel owners. Now, I assumed that when the OS got updated, like we get our monthly updates on Pixel phones, that it would just update everything. But
It
that,
did.
according to the article, it isn't. In fact, the Google Camera app, they often put updates out that are above the OS update. So it is incumbent. When you read the article, it's to make sure that you go to the Play Store and you put in Google Camera. I did that just a few minutes ago, and it says I'm okay, I'm up to date, because there is an April the 14th Google Camera update for that. So the reason I put the article up is that there is a separate app that you might want to make sure that is updated, and that's on
But
the
I think, Ron, that's for those people that are not Pixel owners.
no,
Because my
that's-
Pixel updated when the operating system updated. At
and
that
that's what I
point, all
thought.
of the apps also did an update, and that's when this one updated for me.
Right, but sometimes the Pixel, the Google Camera app does update more frequently, or has different that needs to be manually updated. That's all the article is saying about that. So it's an interesting article. Just have a read and see what you think. Now, this is why a Chromebook is probably all you need. I put that article in just to remind everybody that remember Huey's having lunch right now. He's probably chewing on a steak while we're all working hard. Hello, Huey out there. Huey and I do a learning Chromebooks once a month, and that's coming up this next Thursday. So that's the reason I put that in there. So if you want to come and listen to our show, Learning Chromebooks, it's on a Thursday. You need to register, so you can go to www.techforsenior.com and you can register there, and we'll send it's free, and you can and then come, and our show will be next Thursday. So that's why I put that in there, just to remind everybody. And this was the article. Rogers is one of the big telcos in Canada, and this was the article in which they're releasing 8 gigabyte symmetrical speeds this summer, and it will be going to some of the provinces such as New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland, way out in rural areas. So they are 8 gigabytes, which is it's a lot faster. It's a lot faster than Huey's. I have 1 gigabyte coming in. I have cable system in my place, and I have a 1 gigabit connection, but I got about 120 up. It's not symmetrical. Cable is never symmetrical. Huey has fiber in his house, and Huey has 1 gigabyte up and 1 gigabyte down. So he has symmetrical, but this is being released in fiber, and it's 8 gigabytes. Now, why I put the article in here, not just to say, hey, it's happening, but I'll keep saying this till I die. Things are happening so fast, and things are changing quickly. You need to just keep looking and hunting in your area, because new things happen. And particularly with 5G now, we're going to be seeing 8 gigabyte up and down quite quickly now, and it's possible from the technology that we can get speeds like that from 5G. So it's all changing quickly, so you don't have to suffer anymore. Now, of course, there is Bob, who lives at Meadow Lake, and he's oh my god, 40 gigabytes down. So Bob,
Megabytes, 40 down and 6 up.
I know. So all I'm saying is just please keep looking, because things in technology is changing rapidly.
Ron, I can tell you 6 up rhymes with fed up.
Now, Bob and I were talking about this earlier today in our pre-warm-up for the show. If you have, did you do a video on the latest update, Bob, or did you? The Zoom
no, I played with the whiteboard, and I can really not find much use unless you're doing this with other people,
right,
where you're trying to explain something. But there are not enough features in here for this thing to do me any good.
Right.
So this is good for a teacher.
Right. But if you are all as I'm saying is that there, if you have and you use Zoom, most of us all use Zoom, please update it, because there is a big update that has just occurred. Just Bob notified me, and it's just this, I guess it's this week, and big new update that occurred. And in there, you will see a new feature called Whiteboard, and it's a big button at the bottom. You know, it wasn't there before, and and there are a bunch of new features. So the reason I put this in there is to play around with the whiteboard, have some fun with it, and make sure you update your Zoom, because there's a big new feature in there. Mike Hungerman says, much of the speed of the connection is downstream from your local connection. Upgrading to faster connection doesn't always mean faster connections. Correct, but it is faster if it's a gigabit. So
and it also depends on your router. If your router is incapable, you know, everything is only as fast as its slowest
as the router.
component.
That's correct. This was disconcerting. There was a big fire in North Vancouver that started in an apartment, and it was started from the battery charger of an e-bike. Now, you know, I've had a lot of fun with my e-bike, and you've seen me pedaling around on it in some of the videos I've made. And of course, I charge it in my house. I guess this does sort of bring us, and the reason I mention this is because in my garage, I have a tool where all my tools are. They're all electric, and they all have batteries, and there's a big charging area there. One of my friends had his house burned down a couple of years ago, and the fire started in the garage on his workbench, and it was a charging system. And one of the reasons the fire got so big was because, of course, there's fire separation doors from the garage into the house, and the fire started in the garage. So everyone was in the house, and nobody really knew the fire was going on in the garage. So what I did is I went down that next day, and I installed a smoke detector and alarms over top of my workbench in the garage. So all I'm saying is, if you are storing or charging things in your house or your apartment, particularly with e-bikes and stuff like this, please make sure your smoke detectors and your are all working, and you might even want to put an extra one around the area that you're charging, because this is disconcerting that this was a big fire and it occurred from the charger on an e-bike.
Might be a good idea to put a Miss A price out there, because when it guards your house, also does things like detect fires,
Yeah,
smoke alarms, all of that stuff. So
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good. Dick Vogel says, I make a point to check Zoom for updates and install them before joining the show on Monday. Yeah, I said to Bob today, you know, we got to check and make sure this doesn't automatic. I don't want everybody on the Monday show to be pushing the whiteboard button, and we got to see if this is automatically turned on or what. This was an article. As you know, I'm interested in electric cars. I don't have one, but I think when we surveyed our group, Mike was the only one. Mike Ungerman had I think he has a hybrid. I just want to let everybody know that Hyundai all electric car sales doubled in March of 2022. Big time. British Columbia in our province already has reached their 2025 goal for sales of electric cars. So big things happening. And I think we need to talk more about that, which we will talk.
Many places, electric cars are on back order.
Yes.
Even if you want one, you can't get one.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, do you realize we're at 9:57? We're just at
Holy smokes.
Where
Time
you going?
flies. Good time.
Good time had by all. Anyway, the good news and the bad news with the Apple Watch. I'm not going to go into this because I'm currently doing a video on this. If you want to see my video, come and watch the show on Monday. I'll have it it'll be another watch video, and I'm going to have that ready to go on Monday. Google iPhone app is where. Oh, this was interesting. Did you guys see this? This was an interesting article. Google's making an app that if you have an iPhone and you want to switch to a Pixel phone, the Apple automatically wirelessly take all your Apple stuff and put it into your Pixel phone. I thought good marketing strategy for Google. And what was the oh, I know I was going to ask you. Do you guys use your watch to pay for anything?
No, not
You
yet.
don't. You don't use Google Pay. I wonder if anyone out there does. Anyone put in the chat there just before we're
Not
sort
the
of
watch.
getting,
I've
phone,
used my
maybe.
phone.
use your phone, eh? But you don't
Yeah,
use your
okay.
watch, eh?
Not my watch. No, haven't gotten that brave.
Yeah, I think that'd be so cool. I think I'm gonna set a. Mike says here 26 miles. Yeah, Mike's got, but I think 26 miles per charge, pure electric, and about 40 to 50 miles per hour in hybrid mode when the battery is used up. Oh, cool. So, Mike, what is the car that you have? I'm curious. Oh, Kia plug-in. Yeah, that's a popular. Yeah, that's cool. That is so interesting. Anyway, it's interesting that when I did the survey last about a month ago on Tech for Senior, there was only one. Mike was the only person with electric hybrid or electric car. Anyway, you guys, it is time to go. We've Can you believe it? I mean, I still got coffee in my mug here. Can we stay and talk for another hour?
We can.
Bill, it's been
Some
a
of us have a
blast.
life.
I know some people have a life. Bill, it's been a blast having you. Will you come back again?
Oh, I will.
You know,
Yeah.
Bill agreed to do some more tips. He's going to do some not this week, but next week he's going to do some Windows tips on our Monday show. Thank you for doing that again. So thank you so much for coming. Whenever you're here, time flies by. I don't know how
I don't know why that is.
I don't know
But
why it is, but we just have so much fun. Thank you, Ray, for coming. You're here as always, and you got your articles in early today. And wow, we had talked a lot about your articles. That's great, Bob. I hope the fires stay away from your place, and I hope that you're going to be safe. I do worry about you.
Yeah, we're fine.
Good.
We're
All
fine.
right.
Yeah, that's what the fire department does.
Yeah,
Its job, and it's a thankless job. But
it is. 3
Yep.
cheers for the fire department. Yeah, absolutely.
got that one right.
Yes. I want to thank everyone for coming. This will be out in a podcast later on today. And don't forget our Monday show, Tech for Senior Monday. This Monday, it'll be a Zoom meeting. Should be a good show. Lots of interesting stuff happening. And we'll be back next week. Same time, same place.
The podcast will air tomorrow, right at 10.
It will be on by tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Okay. So thanks everyone for coming. We will see you soon. Bye now.